Hi everyone, my name is Blair. I'm a fitness instructor with 19 Wing Comox, and today I'm going to take you through some mobility exercises. I'm going to have three areas of focus. One is going to be more upper body, one's going to be through your T-spine or middle of your back, and the last one will be focused mainly on your hips. So with this, we're focusing on the mobility because it will help in everyday Hi, my name is Blair. I'm a fitness instructor with 19 Wing Comox, and today I'm going to take you through some mobility exercises. With this, I'm going to focus on three areas. One's going to be upper body through your shoulders, one's going to be your T-spine, so the middle of your back, and the last one's going to be mainly through your hips. With this one, we do mobility because it will help with activities of daily living, and it will help with any type of sport performance, whether it is light activity or high intensity activity. It helps in range of motion and can help prevent injuries. So with this workout, or with these exercises, what you want to have is PVC pipe or broomstick or some kind of stick to use, foam roller, a lacrosse ball or tennis ball or some kind of ball, and not necessarily needed, but a medicine ball, a lightweight one that can help with one of the exercises. With this, feel free to play your own music, and also for your safety, please ensure you read the full disclaimer located in the description below this video before you start your virtual training. Okay, we will get right into this. Way. So this whole first part is using your PVC pipe, and it's all upper body movements. So what you're going to do, you're going to start with, your hands are going to be straight and as wide as you can. That allows you to pass the PVC overhead, but also narrow enough that you do get a bit of a stretch through it. So these are called pass-throughs. We're going to go for 10 of them. All the way to your low back and all the way to your front. They don't have to be super slow, but at a steady pace. When you do these, you want to make sure your armpits are facing forward. So we don't want to get into this rounded, hunched, shoulders forward. We want to be nice and tall through here. And then from there, keeping your same grip, you're going to go overhead, same thing, rotate, armpits are forward, elbow pit is facing straight up. You're going to be here, and you're just going to go side to side. And we're going to do 10 total. So with this one, if you have difficulty bringing your arms straight overhead here, with this movement, you can pull down to allow your arm to get to that full range. And we'll say that's around 10 there. The next one is around the world. So these ones, just like your pass-throughs, you're going to those same end movements, but to get there, we're going around your body. So with these ones, to try to avoid some confusion, one hand will go down by your hips, the other one is going to go up, overhead, and then you're just going to rotate the bar until it gets to this position. And then going around, that arm drops and the other arm comes overhead. So these ones just around, we're going to go 5 each direction. And other way. Again, we're not looking for super slow. If you do find that there's some limited mobility in some of through your shoulder, you can bend an elbow to get around into these positions. Or if you need to, just stay high and trying to get back into this position. Next, we're going to go behind the neck press. So you're going to be bringing the bar back here. we're working on getting your shoulders opened up, and then we're just pressing up for 10. Try to keep your chest up, armpits forward. All right, next one. This is a narrow grip pass through. So our pass throughs were all the way up and over. This one's only going to be halfway, so you're going to go narrow grip, about shoulder width, and you're just coming up as far overhead as you can. Trying to stay nice and tall through here, forcing your arms back. Try not to get here or sticking your head out and leaning forward. Again, going for 10. Let's go one more. Okay, moving on to, I just call this one Rollerboard. You're going to have one hand on the top, palm up, the other hand about 3/4 of the way down, palm down, and you're in this position. You're going to, with this bottom hand, you're pushing up to get that extension through here, and then as you come through, you're pushing with this arm to get this extension back here. You're pushing through. We're going to go 5 each side. Push here, push your arm up, and then push that arm back. 3, 4, 5. And switch sides. All the way up, pushing your back arm, pushing that arm up, pushing that arm back. And 5. Next one is a tricep pull. So you're going to have the bar kind of at an angle on your back. This hand, I want to pull it down so it's back in this position, and you're just going to bring the bar forward and then back. So as you come back, you're pulling this arm down into essentially a tricep stretch. With all of these, depending on how tight you are in certain areas, you'll feel them more. And switch sides. So this arm is pulling forward to pull your upper arm back and down. 5 per side here. And then front rack. So if you're doing front squats, this right here is your front rack position. So to get some mobility through there, we want to try to mimic that. So try to avoid confusion on this one. Pull is in front. You slide one arm beside it. So the outside of your arm is on the bar, and then you're going to reach up and grab the bar like this. Again, it's right in front of you. You're going to come across your body, bar, reaching, and then from there, we're just pulling the bar up, getting what's going to be external rotation of your shoulder. And this, we're just going to go for 5. So it's going to be a brief hold, back, hold. And these you can hold longer if you want. Again, these are quick movements. You're doing an upper body workout, anything through your shoulders, then it doesn't take you forever to get through this workout, or through your entire workout. Just a quick warm up. Then again, bar here, you want to cross, reaching back, and again, pull, hold for a bit, release. You don't have have to do a lot of force, but enough to give you that stretch. All right. Next, it's a straight arm rotation. That's what I called it anyways. Arms out, shoulders back. And you're just gonna have feet planted, and all you're doing is rotating side to side. I'm gonna go 10 total. Okay, last one in this. So it's just 10 movements, and the last one, bar is going to go on your back, just like you would for a back squat. And from here, you're just rotating your head as far each side as you can. And this is 10 total. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, that is that upper body portion of your warm-up through your shoulders. So any upper body workout, which is going to be anything from shoulder press, any bench press type movements, any rows, pull-ups, even deadlifts. A lot of times you are using your shoulders and upper body for most types of lifts. Okay, next ones we're going to get into is our T-spine exercises. So that's going to be right through the middle of your back. So it's going to be about shoulder blades down to just before you start to get that lumbar curve. First one, so now we're going to get into using our foam rollers. And this one, we're going to sit on it like so, lie back. And lying in the middle of it, and we're going to do 10 total. One arm overhead, one arm down to the side, and you're just going to go back and forth, 10 total. Especially on this arm that's up, overhead, trying to relax it and let it go down as far as it can. Like that. And I think that is it. Next one. This one is thread the needle. So we're going to have our foam roller straight in front of us. We're going to have one hand on, so our body is all on the one side of it. Hands and knees. This other arm, you can go the palm up. And what you want to do is slide all the way through. Brief pause and back. We're just going to do 5 per side. You want to make sure you're rotating your body all the way through, so you're not just moving your arm, your whole body is rotating. So again, now you can have your other side. The other hand on that side, and this one on top of the roller, and all the way through. Again, it's 5 per side. Last one, and 5. Okay, this one is going to be T-spine roll. So T-spine, so your thoracic spine, going from just before that lumbar curve all the way to kind of mid shoulder blade. And this one, we're going to go up to 5 passes. And these ones, just a steady pace. If you do find a spot that's tight, then you can stay on that a little bit longer. We're going to do 5 full ones. And then we are going to lean to one side and do 5 again on just the one side of your spine. And then to the other side, 5 more. Last one. Okay, the next one, if you do have a med ball or some type of weight, this one's 10 pounds, doesn't have to be that heavy. And this one, what you're going to do in that same position, now we're going to have our arms overhead. And what we want to try to do is get through your T-spine. This roller is a little bit big, so it really kind of bends you around it. But you want to get into this position, arms overhead, and just allow the weight of your arms to fall. We don't want to get our body to go with it. We want to keep our body here, rounding over it, put our arms overhead. And so with that, you can always use some weight to force your arms down. So we want to avoid getting our chest up with it. We want to keep our chest locked here and allow the weight to take our arms down. Again, this foam roller is fairly big, so it does make it kind of difficult. Okay, moving on to the next one. And this is where you need a chair or a bench or something that you can put your hands on. If it is wider, it can be better. This is going to work on this range of motion through shoulders, but also through your T-spine is the focus. If you have limited range going overhead, so if you can lift your arms straight overhead, that's the best. If you find you're here, you might have to start out wider and then slowly move in. So with this chair, it is fairly narrow, so I do have to start narrow. And what you want to do is be about this far from the chair so you can reach it and your knees are at 90 degrees. And then from here, you're just going to sit back. And just let your head fall through your shoulders. And this one, with any mobility, it's good to hold it for a bit as that stretch. But with mobility, we want to work on movement. So with this, you can come back out of it and go back in. Each time you come up, have that relaxing period, and then as you go back down, you want to try to relax a little more. And see if you can go deeper into that stretch. So that one can be done about 5 times, holding that stretch anywhere from up to 5 seconds if you want to go for 10, if you want to go a little bit longer. Next one is, these ones can be kneeling with your elbows down. So what we want to do is get your elbows in line with your knees. And then your arm to your low back straight, or back flat. We want to try to avoid this. Try and get this position. And we're just rotating up. Really trying to bring that elbow and shoulder to that rotating up and down. And this one, we're just gonna go for 3. You can go anywhere from 3 to 5 of them. And then once you've done that, you move your hand to the back of your head. And then same thing. I'm gonna try to get that elbow up as high as you can. You're really trying to open up your chest to face forward. So from the front, the other side, if you wanted to do up on your hands, you do the same position, hand on your low back, and you're going up. Like that. And go from the back of your head. And there's that for your T-spine. Again, that's just 6 different movements that you can use for that mobility through your T-spine. Because a lot of times what happens is some people have good mobility or good rounding through or arching through their low back. But what tends to happen is through your T-spine, things get tight and you get into this position, that slouch position. And so what we need to work on is extending through your T-spine to get in that better upright position, that healthy position. Okay, now we're going to move on to your hips. So with your hips, let's see, we don't need anything, we just need your body. So the first one we're going to do is we're going to start in this position. So having this leg about 90 degrees, your hips 90 degrees, and then this other leg 90. And from here, you're going to rotate around. So I'll just position myself. You're going to rotate around, and then you want to try to go as deep as you can, keeping your back straight. So we're not rounding to get here. We're trying to stay kind of nice and tall and just hinging at your hips and getting close to the ground that way. Going there, hold for about a 3, and then you're going to rotate all the way around. That. And then coming back to this position, just a quick all the way down, and then we're going to rotate around to the other side. So what that's going to look like, if I'm right here, I came down here, and then I come up, rotate to this side. Now we still have our 90 degrees in our legs, and then we just go right into this other side. Again, dip towards the ground, about a 3-second hold. If you find you're tight, feel free to stay in this position longer. And then back here, so really trying to open up your hips. Again, this one you can hold however long you'd like. I try not to hold stretches too long, because it feels like things kind of get locked up and I want to get back out of it. So I tend to do a lot more movement when you do mobility stuff, as opposed to just straight on stretching. And then rotate back. So just if I can get. Again, going back down. Hold. Back up. So in this movement, we're trying to get that work on the external rotation. We're trying to force, actually forcing internal rotation, sorry. We're trying to get this movement here. And so we're just leaning back to get into that internal rotation movement. And back, up, and over. This one I find I get it right here through my lower back. This way. I'll do a few more. Next one, going to get through your inner thigh and through your groin, and we're just going to be pulling. You can either grab at your feet, pulling your feet in, and just try to actively press your knees down. And from here, to make it a little more dynamic, you can just have your legs go up and down, a little side to side. As much as you can, trying to stay upright. I can't quite get there that well. You want to keep your back nice and upright, nice and straight when you do this one. Try to avoid getting into here. You can. This way focuses more on getting through your hips. Once you're round, you get more stretch through your low back. So not necessarily a bad thing. Okay, next one. This one has a bunch of movements with it. And I just call this one the hip grind. What we want to think of is ball and socket with through your hip. And instead of just stretching it one way and just getting that range of motion through your hip socket, we're actually going to try to move your hip around in the socket to get that dynamic movement, that low-level dynamic type movement through there, instead of a static stretch and hold. This one, if you have a mat or something soft, you can put it under this back knee. What you're focusing on is getting your front knee can go over top of your toes or even past them. If they go past, then we're getting just a little bit of a stretch through your calf, which is a good thing. And from there, both hands are going to go into the instep. And if you need something, you can always have something in front of you, because we want to keep our chest up and we want to focus on bringing our hips towards our front foot. So if you can't quite get flat, you can go up on your fingertips or on your knuckles. This knee is going to go out. Now we're just going to get into that position, get a bit of a stretch there, and then from that, we're going to create this C shape with our knee. So as we go back, it comes back in. As we go forward, it's going to go out and back in. Now we're just going to move forward and back like that. Once we've done that, about 3 to 5 times, then we're going to take this hand, go out wide. So that's our outside hand, going wide. Inside hand, you're going to push your knee out. And so here, we're going to push, rotate away, and then back towards. Rotate away, Try to relax. Back towards. And turn away again, this time trying to go a little farther, relaxing. And back. The third one, while staying in this position, you're going to take that inside hand, and from there, you're going to come all the way across, so your tricep is on your front of your lower leg, so on your shin. That's going to be here. Get a nice stable base. And from there, we're going to rotate towards your leg. And from there, you can do just little movements through your hip. This one is going to be minimal range of motion. And then lastly, while staying in this, you can see if you can get to that lower position. And just hold for 2 to 5 seconds. And back. Okay, other side. So let's see if I go from the side profile. Knee over top of your toes or past. Trying to keep your heel down. Back leg, stretch back. Hands to your instep. And thinking of bringing your hips towards your front foot. And once you have that set, then we're going to have your hand on your knee and be pressing it out. As you come back, bringing it back in, out, back in. So again, that C shape. Trying to get to that maximum range, especially out front here. Really try to open up your hips. And then hands here, outside hand goes wide, inside hand on your knee, pressing it away, rotating away from your leg, and back towards, away, and towards. This one you can also turn away and move your hip in kind of that C shape or just back and forth. And going across your leg and rotating towards. Still trying to sink deep, bringing your hips towards your front foot. And then you can add a little bit of movement in. Okay, let's go to your figure 4. So with this one, let's try this side first. So ankle, opposite knee, and you're going to pull in. So the leg that's crossed, that's the one you should feel it in. And this one, you're just going to hold that there. This one I generally do mainly as a stretch. Again, if you want to, you can take the stretch off and try to bring it in a little bit deeper. And there's 2 other positions we're going to go into. So maintaining this position, you're going to take the sole of your foot and you're going to rotate down until your foot is flat on the ground. And so now we're going to try to push your knee away. So you can either try to push it away or get your back flat, both shoulders on the ground, and actively move your knee away and pulling your foot up towards. Then from there, same position, we're going to roll all the way over to the other side. Now this time, we want to make sure our hips aren't coming up too far. We want to try to keep our hips as low as we can and use this upper leg here to push down on your knee. So now these ones you can hold for a lot longer. I just did about 20 seconds each one, but you can definitely go a lot longer if you want. And I'll go on the other side, ankle, opposite knee. There, keeping that same position, sole of your foot all the way down, and just actively moving your knee away and pulling this foot up towards yourselves. I'm getting that one right in here, kind of the upper lateral part of my glute. And if you can, you're trying to get your body or your shoulders flat on the ground with that rotation. And from there, you're going to go all the way over and press your knee down towards the floor. And up. Okay, I think I have a little bit more time. I'm going to quickly go through, it's called the Limber 11. It was made up by Joe DeFranco, and it is a lower body warm-up. I'm just going to do a few reps each one, and it's just to get through it and put it out there. So if you want to try it, you can. This one, first one, foam roller. You're going to do your IT band. So in this position, you're just rolling the outside of your leg about 10 to 15 passes. You don't have to be super slow, just at a steady pace, both sides. The next one, you're going to do your adductors. So your adductors are the muscles on your inner thigh. So this one, you want to try to get the foam roller perpendicular to your leg, and you are just going to roll that as high up as you can make it, and going all the way down just above your knee. You don't want to roll on top of the bone. You just want to stay on that muscle belly. So that's going to be your adductors. Same thing, 10 to 15 passes each side. Then using your lacrosse ball, and this is getting into your glute. So you can either put it there, it's just on your cheek. You can go kind of in the middle of your cheek. You can go a little more to the side, kind of towards your head of your femur or your hip there. And kind of lie on it like this. And you can also just lie straight down on the ground. And again, with that one, about 30 seconds, even up to 2 minutes, and you're trying to get your whole butt cheek. I find mainly upper and to the sides a little bit more on the places you want to focus on. Then, bent knee, iron cross. So 90 degrees, 90 degrees. Hands out to your sides. And from here, you're just going all the way to the ground. And then other side. Using your hand for support and pressing into the ground, core tight. And now we're getting movement through your hips, lower body core, and upper body stabilization. So a good part of the warm-up is now you're adding a little bit of movement to it and using it kind of as an exercise. Roll over to V-sit. So this one, you want to go into rolling back as far as you can, coming forward and reaching. I suggest you do this kind of slow at the start, because if you are tight in your inner thighs, this movement forward can cause some issues. So go all the way back, coming forward, reach, all the way back, forward, reach. And next one is the rocking frog. So definitely have something under your knees, because this is fairly painful just on regular floor. You want to have basically doing the splits from your knees. So 90 degrees, and then have your feet out like that. Some might know it as the goalie stretch or hockey stretch. And you're going to be in this position, and then from there you're rocking back and forward. You're rocking back, and this is where it intensifies. Going forward, back, and doing this one just like the V-sits. They're each going to be 10 reps each. Then you have fire hydrant circles, and just like the name states, you can probably imagine what they are. Hands and knees, and what you're doing is trying to draw a circle with your knee. So keeping your leg bent at 90, you're drawing this circle with your knee. So my knee is staying bent at 90, I'm not coming around and extending. I'm going to go 10 one way, 10 the other way. And then switching sides. Next, mountain climbers. So these ones are similar to the hip grind, if you remember those. You're going to be in this push-up, and you're going to jump forward, get a bit of a stretch there, switch sides, stretch, switch sides. So they're slower, you go, stretch, switch sides, you stretch, as opposed to the quick mountain climbers. Then you're going to do what's called a Cossack squat, and no shoes, this one's going to be interesting. You're in a wide stance, and you're squatting down here, foot up, toe out, and you're just going side to side like that. 5 to 10 per side. And then you're seated. Your form is stretch, so you're just in this position, and you're upright, and you're going to be leaning forward, trying to keep your back straight. Here, as opposed to rounded. And with the piriformis, you can also do it with the foam roller. You can sit on it, the knee that's up, lean to that side about 45 degrees, and just do something like that. And lastly is couch stretch, which this chair might actually be a little too high. You're going to go into this position here, and you're going to come forward, and as you come back, you're going to squeeze your butt, come up. It's going to push your hips forward, be a good quad stretch as well, but pushing your hips forward, and then down, squeeze your butt, come up, down, about a 2 to 3 second hold each one. And that's going to be 5 to 10 per side. So again, that was really quick going through the limber 11, and at least they're there. You can look back at them and use that as a good lower body warm-up. Okay, that is it for this mobility session. Hopefully you got a lot out of it. For those CAF members, if you did get injured at any point in this, please fill out a CF98. And for CFA members and everyone else, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is CF Morale and Welfare Services, and hit the notification button if you like it. Thank you very much.